Hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark III and welcome to the something new thing which I mentioned in my ministry videos of late. Something old, something new. Something old was ministry itself, making a return to the channel. And something new in that pairing is this one, Infraspace. Less of a factory game, Infraspace is more about managing the logistics and flow of resources to and from place to place. All wrapped up in a sci-fi setting with, well, a bit of Alien Planet style thing going on. So, you know, I like my sci-fi. I like futuristic stuff. This game, though, is... Anyway, right. I don't know how to finish that thought, so here we go. Right, new game. I'll leave it on medium, which is how many products citizens need. Higher difficulty, the better you have to manage your economy. I have done a bunch of poking games on this game over time. So this is not my first time coming to this game, but it's the first time coming to this game with intent to record, rather than just toying with it and trying to learn the game a little bit. We're not going to do any creative mode options. Transport difficulty is how many items a vehicle can carry. Easy, medium, and hard. Hard mode is 1 item per vehicle, which is very painful. Very, very painful. You have to do a really good job with your transport routes if you do that one. But one thing I will say is, rather than cars ignoring traffic, we want traffic jams. We can't have a traffic simulation without traffic jams, can we? But one thing we can do is cars make round trips. Otherwise, you have the whole phenomenon of vehicles teleporting. They travel from their origin point to the end point, and then whoop, they're suddenly back at the start point again. Hooray! No, with this one, they're forced to make a return journey. So that does a lot better of making this an actual traffic sim. You know, like City Skylines, that kind of thing. But anyway, let's get started, shall we? After a failed warp jump, your damaged spaceship is stranded somewhere in the galaxy. Your communication system can't reach human space. You need to settle on one of the nearby planets to get the necessary resources and technology to repair your ship. Okay, and we are the colony manager in charge of getting this settlement off the ground, gathering the resources, and just helping repair our ship, which is, by the way, an actual gameplay element. It's not just like backstory saying, hey, there's a ship off there somewhere, have fun. No, it's the actual spaceship. There's Area 1, the only thing we've got so far, though the devs are saying that there's going to be more things we can do in this regard at some point. This game is in early access, by the way. But as you can see, our ship is a tiny bit beaten up. And we can actually go ahead and send up materials and things to help repair the ship. And this isn't just like a random objective either, it's also improves your things as well. So if we fix up the bridge, which needs hard displays and computers, I've never got far enough to make a hard display, I don't know how hard that is. But you get a permanent boost to your immigration. Communications, 20% to a random technology. Electronics, microchips, and aluminium. Actually, I've got that far in the game. We can do that. The thing is, though, we need that stuff to make 1, and then it needs 200 to actually do the thing. So these are major undertakings fixing our ship. Technology boosts. All buildings get an efficiency boost if we fix the FTL drive. All the fuel cells. All the turbines. Unlock a random tech with an orbital scanner. I've got far enough to get motors, so yeah, that's something that could be done, but it's 400 progress, that one, ouch. And then some of them are this, which like extra colonists are immediately made available to join your settlements. Immigration boost, more people. 1 random tech. 250 versus... Yeah, so it looks like the harder ones generally have a more powerful boost on them. But the materials they need are all over the place. So that's our ship over there, just sitting up there. But for now, though, we need to actually get started. Which is... It's an automatic tutorial thing, which gives you the initial steps to get through. And our first thing is to get sulfur and sand to make construction elements. Then we can use iron and start actually doing research and things. So I'm just trying to think where we want to be. This is a massive open area here. Jeez. Iron ore, sulfur, copper. That copper is a bit inconvenient in its location. These rocks will apparently be able to destroy those with an orbital laser. Maybe the next big update, I think, is when that's going to happen. But right now we can't do that. Though that said, we'll have to fix the orbital laser first. So another damaged module for the spaceship. Oh joy. But yeah, we need the iron ore for steel production. And many, many things. So I'm going to start... Let's just start spreading out a little bit. Let's get started. Now, one thing about Infraspace is it actually has 2 grids on it. That you can place stuff in. So it's got this default grid. Or if you click a button... which is... There it is. There is a 45-degree grid as well. These things do not overlap properly, so... Unless you plan to freeform and have no grid, I prefer to stick in one orientation for a given building site, if I can. So let's go ahead and start with a road. Actually, let's start with figuring out where to place our mines. That's a sand mine, that's why it goes everywhere. Right, yellow, it can't. Blue, it can. 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and then it stops. So 4 there. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay. And that's my first little roundabout kind of thing, but I'm going to use this as my initial resource site for getting access to some sulfur. We need sand as well, which I'm going to plant on the opposite side of it. Actually, 12 seconds to 1, 24 seconds to 1. So we need more sand mines than sulfur mines, really. I'll just pop that there. We need a concrete factory, which is one of my basic building materials. It's one of these down here. And this is why I built them like that. Because there is actually an adjacency bonus if you get a building next to something that produces something it requires for an efficiency boost. So always a good idea. But I've just remembered something, so I'm just going to delete those real quick and expand outwards by 1. I know this is making things look a little bit untidy, but I will go ahead and get rid of those long roads and just relay them. A little bit of minor OCD from me though. That was entirely unnecessary, but I've done it. Also, gotta bear in mind, deleting stuff doesn't get you back the full resources. But yeah, that's because I can angle these things to get bonuses like that. So that's all starting to go into places. We've got the roads to connect them already. And now we need to get power to get them running. So everything runs on power. Oops, that's the wrong key. That's the key. Right. And to start out, we've got these wind turbines, which unfortunately, as you can see, have a efficiency radius. If they're too close to each other, they just stop working. So I need to get this stuff connected up. Let's pop one guess there. And I need to get a joining point set up. So I'm going to put it, I guess, along this way. Now, one thing I would like to note is the connection point on the wind turbines is a bit iffy, because if you get a long one coming out the front like this, it seems to clip slightly with the blade, so that's something I wish wouldn't happen. But anyway, let's unpause it for a moment so it realizes. Yep, that's all done. So we have production of sulfur and sand. Making concrete, we've got mucho concrete plants. In fact, probably too many concrete plants, if I'm going to admit. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a storage. And yes, I'm randomly building a distance. Because space runs out real quick in this game sometimes, I must admit. Also, I'm going to use this road to attach other things to later as well, so let's just get this rolling. If I check my... Where is it? Production overview, here we go. So, barely any sand compared to what we need. Sulfur is okay. Power is okay. And concrete, we have some production. So, it does give us overall production stats on everything for our city. So, we can check and see what's going on. So, that's 10. That's 15. And that's another sulfur. The thing is, though, now we are overtaxing our population, I think. And apparently there's a district mode. I've never actually played with the district mode. So I don't know. But that's our concrete. For now. For now, it wants us to start doing things like habitats. How dare they expect me to do things like habitats? 2, 3, 4? That's not quite right. There we go. And habitats are our basic housing units. A little bit of concrete. This is where we need to supply all our residents to. And it also provides worker population as well. So we do need to be aware of that. So worker population is a thing. Now to feed the peoples, their first requirement, we need an atmospheric processor, which gives us oxygen and carbon. Which I will just randomly... Whoops. I'm in the habit of pressing R to rotate stuff, unfortunately. I'll put my first processor bit up here. Because I've got to be aware of where traffic is trying to go. So that's that. Basic connection there. And we need a spaceport, which I don't really want to get mixed in with this slot, so I'm just going to pop it, I think, over this way. Spaceport. Yep, that's perfect. Needs 150 concrete though, we've got 125. This is where we just let speed up. So this is one thing. Sometimes it's this game is a bit more about waiting, but as you can see, we've got a fair bit of traffic rolling around already in this little bit here. And these are the supply trucks going out carrying concrete up to our building storage up there. Which I probably built in a slightly wrong position, but that's okay. They tend to go to the nearest one available. And each one that goes in there is dropping off concrete for me. Steady pace already. Excellent. Concrete. And I'll just put a spaceport there. Now it's asking me to do things which involve connecting the power lines, unfortunately. There we go. That's all starting to work up. They've got power. This place is starting to use oxygen. It's slightly low on people, but that's because I built up slightly too much there, but that's all okay. We are doing good. We are doing things. I was planning to maybe put down a sign and say, see what happens with that, but unfortunately that's a bit pricey. 250 concrete and 40 steel. We're not quite at the point where we can just put gratuitous signs everywhere. Those resources are much better spent on the foundation of the colony. And there you go, it's a warning because not enough workers. We've got 20 population, 30 jobs, 60 housing. But a shuttle has just landed. Now, the thing worth noting is immigration rate depends on average quality of my habitat versus the requirement. More people have, the requirement goes up. So naturally, immigration rate drops down. I have to try and sustain my people to keep immigration rate at a steady pace. And actually that makes those big bursts of population from repairing the ship more significant, actually. now that I'm thinking about it. I've not really touched on repairing the ship either in my poking around on this game, so that's a bit of a new area for me as well. Beyond knowing that it's like not the easiest task to do. But anyway, yeah, population, they turn up in these pretty little pink hover jeeps, I think is what they're probably best to call those. And honestly, that is the one vehicle which I hope, well, I wish would not do these return trips because there's not much point, because the person is coming from here to here, and then they're just sending their car back up to the spaceports. Doesn't quite make much sense, that one. Here comes some more immigrants. Anyway, right. We have something else to be doing, which is the research lab. Basic research requires iron ore and copper. Iron ore and copper. That is to produce the science packs, by the way. The actual... Let's do it like this, I suppose. The actual... the science packs are made, then the science packs has to be delivered to the actual research lab building in itself, which is a slightly separate thing. And what I'm doing right now is probably not the most efficient design, but it's one that's worked for me reasonably well in terms of getting research going. But anyway, yeah, research lab itself, nice and proper, is going to sit there. Then I can put the actual labs around the place as well. I'm just trying to think of where I want to put it. Requires 3, but it was 3 times as long, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So yeah, we're just putting a few labs around the place to get things rolling. Notice they're out of power and all that jazz, so yeah, power management is a necessary evil. Network 2 doesn't have enough power. That is absolutely fine because I am planning to connect that to Network 1 straight up. And then Network 1 is also low on power. So I'm going to start connecting up some more wind turbines and things. 98% efficiency. Let's pop one, I guess, right there. Yep, that should be fine for now. Some vehicles have come out, by the way, because they require carbon. Atmospheric condensers provide carbon, so they got carbon storage shipped across. Quite nice. But now it requires the other material I mentioned at the start, which is iron. Now, the thing is, iron deposits are normally up against these cliffs. We can't do anything about these cliffs, so I'm going to put one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it can't do any more after the 4th one. Like so. Got to bear in mind there is a sulfur deposit nearby, which might be worked on later. But for now, I'm just going to keep on going like this. And yeah, it's this kind of winding road approach is something I just wound up doing in Infraspace, because it's like, rather than straight lines all over the place, I do wind the roads around a little bit. It's maybe not the most efficient thing, but I kind of like how it looks, honestly. So it looks kind of nice, and it lends things to a slightly more natural feel than straight lines everywhere. At least to me. But yeah, there's some iron ore going. Jolly good. And it said farm, so that mysterious screen that kept flashing up whenever I hit R to rotate, that's actually our research. And right now we can generate blue science packs, which gives us farming, the tutorial wants us to grab. but we can queue up everything we want in here. So we can get anything which is pure blue. Steel is something we want kind of soon because it is, you know, it's the next building material tier. And we do need buttloads of the stuff later on, so it's a good one to grab. Electronics gives us copper mines, electronics factories, and then straight into home appliances, which is allows us to get a housing upgrade, also nice. Then might as well grab green science, aluminium mining, which in turn unlocks computers. And then we also pick up large building tech as well, which gives us access to the parks, also required for upgrades. Also a huge source of traffic, parks. And that's it as far as pure blue can take us. But yeah, I've just queued all that stuff up. But all this now is waiting on iron. So let's have a look-see. Overall production, we do need a bit more sand to run our existing concrete plants, which are slowly but steadily doing their own thing. Quite nice. Right. Iron ore is woefully short. So is carbon. So we do need to upgrade both of those quite massively, actually. Population 60, jobs 70, housing 60. Okay, we need more housing too. And so the slow death spiral of requirements is beginning. Oh dear. There we go. Remember I said I like to bend the roads around a bit, make it look a bit more organic, and then I'm just building city blocks. What can I say? I've never been the most consistent guy, have I? But on the bright side, we have the concrete reserves to just slap all these guys down now. Though we have to take care not to overlap them by accident, because the game will actually allow you to place buildings that are overlapped. It's just that the overlapped building will not function. There we go. And already vehicles are trying to cause a minor traffic jam over there. It's fine, I'll let them. I'll tolerate their doing that. While I do the necessary mining upgrades. Looks like about right when we've got enough people. Okay. Then next up is going to be... Yeah. We have unlocked simple farming. Hooray! Right. Atmospheric processors. Because I want to install these to give boosts to research and stuff. As well as to provide an immediate source of carbon. So yeah, that's giving 8%. 8%. Jolly good. You're starting to do stuff, aren't you? And that's actually keeping our needs required. Though something worth noting is, of course, oxygen from this site is now going to start flowing over that way. As and when it's required. Something to note about resource push and pull in this game. If a building requires a resource, it pulls from the nearest possible source. So these houses will automatically pull from this one, and then they'll pull from these over here. Same for the carbon. These will automatically pull from the ones nearby, and then they'll pull from that one. So, you know, gotta keep an eye out on that. Though for now, what we also want to do is get a bit of simple farming going. Research complete. Electronics, copper mine. Yep, research is rocking and rolling. They are very effective once you get some decent research rolling. But there we go, simple farm. It's simple hydroponics, produces absolutely basic survival food, but it's still food to keep people happy. And it's also a source of traffic. Luckily, these guys are self-sustaining. They don't require any kind of material input. so we can just stick them off their own little source road over this way. Unlock home appliances, now build home appliance factories. Look at the tech we're getting. Oh yes. Aha! Steel mills. Yes, we do need steel mills. Steel mills are the next one. They produce steel. We have 73 steel remaining. They take carbon and iron ore, just like the blue science packs, but they also take water. And they do that to produce steel. So, honestly, it can be a bit of a problem sometimes, but I like to try and stash things like this. If there's a mining site producing one of the materials, I try and keep the buildings somewhat close. But got to bear in mind how close they can get before they lose that bonus as well. Green science packs, thank you. D. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then complete a grid there. Yes, I know. Once again, I Mark 3 is completing a grid. What is that idiot doing? Do not worry. I am doing something. Potentially. But yeah. Actually, no, that's just going to divert some of the iron ore trucks. Let's pull from here. Aluminium mine, thank you. There goes an alternate routing into there. Though which way the vehicles will try to go, I have no idea, but the idea is to try and get a slight difference so we can split up some of the weight. So yeah, steel mill, which I can put down here. So it gets the bonus from the iron mines. Nice. And then the other material it requires is water, which right now comes from these water air filters, so condensing the natural moisture. And I'll just put those there as well. And that will keep these feeding, and we're starting to produce our first set of steel. Though, of course, the steel also needs to go to the resource storage part there. Also worth noting, if you edit a section of road, it deletes all vehicles on that road or about to come onto that road. So, yeah, that's the thing. But anyway, yeah, it said satisfy your needs until done. Water is needed, so a bit of water is probably a good idea nearby as well. Where should I put that? You know what, I'll just whack some in. Oops. Another research upgrade. I'll put some in here for the people to drink from. There we go. And then we just have to try and balance it. Carbon is sucking really bad. Iron ore is a bit down, but that's okay. Iron ore is good. Carbon is actually a bit of a pain to try and get because the only source of it right now is these atmospheric systems, which produce oxygen and carbon. Having more oxygen is not bad, but the problem is these guys are not very efficient at it. So you generally need a lot of atmospheric processes to produce the carbon you need early game if you're trying to do anything of decent size, like I tend to do. So yeah, power, the power shortage, but I can connect some power around here. Yep, that'll help. And then we've got a building which is not covered by power, which I will connect up with that. There we go. And the city is steadily growing. We're also just belting through the technology tree. I mean, look at this. We're already about to get our last one, parks. So we're about to require green tech. We've not even got the infrastructure in place for it. 39, jobs 149, housing 276. Yeah, we can take a hell of a lot. Housing is not even upgrading yet. But it upgrades if it maintains above about 50% of the required resources. And that's our first upgrade. So there's the tutorial over. Right at the end of the episode. Haha! How's that for timing? But yeah, we got our first upgrade, which means this place can take 2 more people, and now wants home appliances to do that as well. It looks like the consumption rate is about the same on the resources as far as it is, but that depends on population. More people, more resources, as always. In fact, something I think I will do is get an additional landing pad. Because, yeah, it's just pure concrete. It'll speed things up. That's all we need. And we've unlocked parks, which is as far as our technology can go at this point. But you can already see we are already causing plenty of chaos as far as traffic's concerned. I wasn't kidding when I said this game is about moving resources more than factory chains. It really is all about moving the resources from A to B via C, D, E, and F. Maybe even by G sometimes, but yeah. B is the eventual target. I'm just surprised I've not caused a traffic jam yet, though this area is getting a bit close, I suppose. Look at that. But yeah, anyway. End of episode though, as you heard my alarm going off. So this has been iMark3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, and this is Infraspace. A nice, chilled out sci-fi colony builder, which is entirely focused on moving stuff. So yeah, see you all later.